Her life is like a fairy tale, growing up with a disability, but never letting it get her down. Her story is an inspiration, and now Academy Award-winning actress Marlee Matlin is using her star power to help people right here in North Texas. She recently spoke at the Helping Restore Ability charity luncheon in Dallas, and Dawn was there to chat with her and get a one-on-one with Marlee. Take a look.
So tell me why it was so important for you to come to Dallas for this event.
You know what, whenever I have an opportunity to speak, to spread the message about the importance of inclusion, of keeping people like myself who care about using the opportunity to help others, to be able to provide the option to talk about independence, I'm living proof of that, of someone who, despite being deaf, did whatever I wanted to do and made a success. The only thing I can't do is sing, of course, but or use the telephone. But other than that, it's a really important opportunity for me to be here, to spread the message that it's okay to be different, and that we are all entitled to be independent and hardworking individuals, that we can do everything that anybody else can do.
And Marlee, what sort of advice can you give to caregivers? I have a son with autism, and sometimes it can be very difficult. What sort of advice would you give to someone like me who's caregiving for someone who may have disabilities?
You know what, all I can say, first of all, is that you're all blessed in the work that you do as caregivers. People who are unable to take care of themselves, I would just say that you need to create a life of patience, to learn about the needs of the person you're taking care of. If you're taking care of, for example, someone who might be deaf, that's my area of expertise, is to understand their language, understand how to communicate with them, and allow, in general, them to be whoever they want to be. It's important to be their friend. It's important to be there whenever, don't feel that you need to hold back life from them. Just give it everything. Independence is very important to a person's well-being.
I love it. Well, can you tell me a little bit about some of the charity work you do? Because I know you do a lot.
You know what, I have a variety of interests. I don't find myself focusing on one specifically because a lot of things interest me. I work mainly with children. I've worked with people, women in battered situations. Domestic violence is another area of interest of mine. I've worked with children who have AIDS, people in homeless situations. I've also worked in situations where people are experiencing addiction and abuse, drug abuse. But I would say probably I focus on charities that have interest to me personally that I've experienced. Sometimes I don't, not necessarily. I work with the American Red Cross. I think that's crucial. And that's about it. I keep my mind and my interests open.
Well, I think it's so great that you have a platform.
And to be also, I must also highlight that closed captioning is another issue of mine, though it's not a charity. It's very crucial. It's a cause for me, not only for deaf and hard of hearing, but for people worldwide. People who are learning English as a second language, children who are learning how to read. So closed captioning is important.
I think that's great, and obviously you have a platform, having been the youngest person to win the Best Actress Academy Award, so many nominations after that. What was that experience like for you?
You know what, it was so long ago, 27 years ago, and I was really very young, very naive. It was my first time in Hollywood. I was very new. I was excited. To be able to have everyone, I should think that everyone should go through that experience of what I went through. It was almost like sort of that once-in-a-lifetime thing that you always dream about. I had no speech prepared. I didn't know you could actually write a little speech and bring it up with you. I felt a little bit of an outsider because I didn't know really anyone in Hollywood, and yet at the same time, when they called my name, it was the coolest thing ever, to be able to have your name called and walk up on stage. It's an honor, and it's an honor to be recognized by my peers, by everyone in the entertainment industry, and it's great.
Well, what are you working on now?
Well, I'm working on a TV show for ABC Family. It's called Switched at Birth, and it's about two girls who found out that they were switched at birth. One happens to be deaf, one is not. And the two families come together, and the two girls become best friends, and the families become intertwined, and all the little teen dramas and adult dramas that take place. And I play the mother of one of the deaf teens on the show.
Oh, I love it. And of course, you have a family. You've got 4 kids.
I do have 4 kids, 18, 13, 11, and 10.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And a dog.
Hey, those are your kids too?
Are you talking about me? I'm not. And Jack. Who,
And
yeah, I
Jack.
gotta say Wolf. She was talking about me.
I love it. That's awesome. Tell me about your kiddos and how you've been able to impact them and hopefully allow them to make a difference in the lives of others.
You know what? Every household has their own sort of means of raising their children. I believe, my husband and I, we make sure that our kids are respectful of each other. I mean, so many kids out there these days are trying to keep up with whatever crazy things are going on out there. I make sure that we both make time for each and every one of them. Parenting is probably one of the hardest jobs that and I'm sure everyone would agree, anyone who's a parent would know, it's probably one of the hardest jobs you're going to have. But I want to make sure at the end of the day that they all get along. Of course, there's sibling rivalries, of course, but I just love it when the six of us are just together. It's such a precious time, and that's what it's all about, is being together.
I love it. Well, thank you for being here, helping out with Helping Restorability.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Dawn, great interview.
It was so neat. She spoke for about 30 minutes at this luncheon, and her story is incredible. The day after she got the Academy Award, someone wrote in one of the major newspapers that she only got it because of the sympathy vote because she was deaf. And she tells a story about how she was able to overcome that. She has a book. She was phenomenal. It was all about giving people with disabilities dignity, and of course, that's what Helping Restorability does. We've had them on the show before, and it was such an honor to be involved in that fabulous, fabulous event.
Yeah, how cool for you to get to know her. I
She was
followed
great.
her on The Apprentice, and I think that's the same guy that was with her on The Apprentice.
Yep, he goes with her every.
Goes with her.
She raised the most money ever in one day on The Apprentice, over $1 million.
Yeah, we fell in love with her. We loved her.
Yeah, she's
Awesome
great.
interview. All right, up next on the broadcast, we are back in the kitchen with Glory Foods. We'll be right back.